Peace, good people. What's going on? Happy Friday to you, Fire Fam. Welcome to the Friday edition of Burning Down with Kim Brown. This is the safe space where we set oppression ablaze because capitalism does not stand a chance versus us. Once we get our gasoline, our kerosene, our Molotovs, and our matches, and our lighters, and our incendiary devices, capitalism don't stand a fucking chance out here, gangs. Time to squad up. I'm so excited and so grateful to see you all in the place to be. Thank you all so much for joining us here. Do us a favor, if you can hit a thumbs up on the video off the top, because you know we got good shit in store for y'all all day, every day. Well, not all day, and definitely not every day, but the days that we are here, we are bringing y'all the good shit. So go ahead and give us a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please take a moment to do so. Follow us places around the internet at BIDWKB, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And we would certainly appreciate that. I'd like to welcome everybody to the jam. I see all my people in here checking in, coming through. Shout out to everybody who was obviously part of the BPM, the remixes, Black Power Media, and everyone who was very kind to me and Ear Doctor when we held down the morning show by ourselves, by our little lonesomes on Thursday. And shout out to all the people who noticed that there were some weirdos in the chat moving very weird. So appreciate y'all collecting the garbage, because I saw some garbage pop up in the chat. I said, what in the fuck is this? Who in the fuck is y'all? And here come the remixes coming through with the collections. And I appreciate that very much. So guys, we have a good show in store for you today. Coming up towards the end of the show, I want us to get aware of a police-involved shooting, and I'll tell you the good news first. The good news is that the person didn't die, okay? And I hate that the standard, the bar for these types of things involving police interaction, police violence, and police brutality, clearly the bar is in hell. The bar is in the Earth's magma core. The bar is so far down that we have to celebrate that a person actually did not lose their life. They just got shot in the back 3 times. But this is a story that you may or may not have heard about, because obviously the person lived, but it is an example of the constant danger that Black people in particular, Black neighborhoods, Black areas, in general, are at risk, in danger of being maimed, murdered, harmed by police and the police state. And this is constant. This is at all times. And because this is the LAPD that I'm referring to about this particular shooting that happened, I believe, Monday, we know that department, what everybody? The department has a history of lying. Absolutely. And the lies have already been stripped away early on in this investigation. We're going to talk about that a little later on in the show. Something else that I want to get into that I have not talked a lot about, because it still makes me very sad and a bit despondent that the world, but particularly specifically Los Estados Unidos, America, is still playing this whole pandemic shit like we fucking stupid out here. Y'all boy, Joseph Robert Head Biden tested positive for COVID this week. Now, Biden is a perfect example of how America is not taking this virus seriously. And even though deaths are down, these new and continuing to emerge variants and mutations, these joints ain't fucking around, okay? These joints is not fucking around. And I've been saying this on this show for months now. We gonna get one of these new mutations, new variants that will remix itself and elude the vaccines, okay? And we are seeing that happen. And there is another new variant on the horizon looming in the distance that gives us more indications that COVID is not yet done with us. But seemingly capitalism is done with COVID. And tragically, that is going to result in more people becoming disabled by COVID, and tragically more people potentially dying. So I want us to get into COVID. Oh, and the monkeypox. Did y'all know that DC is a monkeypox hotspot? I know Jonathan Guerrero knew, because he sent me the story, and I said, JG, I already knew that. I already knew what I've been telling y'all. Stop dapping up people in the street that you don't fucking know. Put hand sanitizer, wash your hands, everything. Like, it is not a game out here. We are dealing with some virulent illnesses and diseases out here in the world, and we need to move accordingly. But the first place that I wanted us to get started, I want us to start with some labor news, okay? So first of all, I do want to congratulate the Starbucks Workers Union on successfully organizing their 200th store this week. That is a BFD. That is a big, huge deal for the Starbucks workers and the Starbucks Workers Union. In spite of fuckery from corporate, it is coming from the top, from CEO Howard Schultz, who has said and vowed and promised that he will not acknowledge the union, nor will he negotiate with the union in good faith. And we know that Starbucks, in addition to some other stores, in this instance, food outlets and restaurants, have been taking the extraordinary step of actually even closing some of their locations to quell unionizing activity. I think I heard about Chipotle also closing a store after their workers had voted to unionize. So we have no expectations that the elites and the corporate class, the one percenters, they are not about to take their foot off the necks of workers at all. But I want us to be keeping in mind some workers that you may not hear a lot about, right? Like they got a union, but their union, is not as trendy, let's say, as the Starbucks Workers Union or as the Amazon Workers Union. We're going to get into an Amazon story as well. But I want us to talk about our food workers and our farm workers in particular. Because as we are experiencing the ravages of climate change, particularly in the West, where we have most of our produce, our fruits, our vegetables, California, Oregon, Washington State, they grow the shit out of a lot of foods that we consume here. And you better believe that a lot of that farm labor is undocumented, is brown, is black, is mostly brown, some black out there too. But it's people who are vulnerable and who have the least amount of workers' rights. And I want us to take a look really quick because I've been following the United Farm Workers Union. And pretty regularly, they upload videos of their members really doing some of the most difficult, backbreaking, excruciating work, doing the most truly for the least. And I mean the least in terms of the least amount of pay, the least amount of protections on the job. But they are actually doing the most to keep the country fed, which is a tremendous job, which is a huge component of our society functioning at a high level, is dependent upon these farm workers out there in those fields. So first, I want us to take a look at a video, and it's short. These are some short clips, but shout out to the United Farm Workers for not letting us forget the kind of difficult work that their members do. So this first video we're going to see, and I'm going to read y'all the tweet. It says, Abel is a truck driver during the grape harvest near Bakersfield, California. Now, once the grapes have been picked and packed, he and his team make load the hundreds of boxes onto the trailer. Now, depending on the variety, the boxes easily weigh 20 pounds each. If it was 106, the temperature was 106 degrees on this day. Hashtag we feed you, hashtag calor. Let's take a look at this video from the United Farm Workers of Abel and the grapes out there in Bakersfield, California. Now look at that, y'all. So raise your hand if you think that's easy work. Raise your hand if you think that you could be out there 8 hours plus in 106 degree temperatures. Now, what's also interesting, and I want to take another look at another worker doing similarly difficult work. Overwhelmingly, these workers do not have protections. Overwhelmingly, these people's labor is exploited in the grossest way. And I want us to take a look. Holy shit, the dogs are barking, pardon me. Take a look at this next vid. This is also from the United Farm Workers, and this is the description. It says, imagine working in the direct sun in temperatures well over 90 degrees for 8+ hours, harvesting blueberries and only earning about 28 cents per pound. This worker will need to harvest over 50 pounds of blueberries per hour just to make minimum wage. This is why they run. Take a look at this video, guys. 28 cents a pound. It's remarkable. Can you imagine keeping up that pace for over 8 hours in 90+ degree temperatures? Can you imagine? I don't know what the humidity is in California, but does it fucking matter? Okay, once the temperature exceeds a certain amount, then it doesn't matter. If you outside in that heat is going to jump on you. And there has been an effort, not only by the United Farm Workers, but SEIU is also helping to organize. They are running a petition trying to get OSHA, the Occupational Safety Hazard Administration. Is that what OSHA stands for? I don't know what the fuck is OSHA even worth any goddamn thing at this point? What in the fuck does OSHA actually do? I know what they're supposed to do, but what do they actually do is the question. So Public Citizen, which is a nonprofit group that usually reports on pretty good stuff. This is going to be A3 Tunde. They have issued a report in which they figured out and documented the kind of conditions that farm workers specifically are exposed to, and why OSHA and the federal government, the Biden administration, needs to act immediately to protect workers from deadly temperatures. Okay, and some of their findings from this report from Public Citizen say that heat exposure is responsible for 600 to 2,000 worker fatalities annually. 600 to 2,000 worker fatalities annually, ranking it amongst the top 3 causes and possibly the top cause of occupational fatalities. Heat, everybody, heat. Farm workers, who are the vast majority of whom are immigrants, and many of those are undocumented, are the most vulnerable to heat-related injury and death. Let me also set a big up to the construction workers as well, because I know they are very susceptible to heat injury and heat fatality. And the other findings go on to indicate in this Public Citizen report, say that worker heat stress tragedies disproportionately strike workers who are poor, Black, and or brown. Now, I know that does not come as a shock to any of us, but it is very important. I mean, we know that obviously the Amazon warehouse workers are subjected to horrific conditions. And I can't even speak on what the conditions are on the inside of an Amazon warehouse, but I can speak to what the conditions are in 100 degrees outside picking berries. It is got to be some of the hardest work that you could even imagine. Now, I know Washington State recently, according to the United Farm Workers, has passed some statewide protections guaranteeing mandatory water breaks, places for workers to cool off, shady areas. They need to have access to this. But the problem is, a lot of these commercial farms are not telling their workers that they are now entitled to these statewide protections in the state of Washington. So I want you guys to go check out the United Farm Workers on Twitter. It's at UFW Updates. And SEIU, like I said, is working with them to get the word out and to really put some pressure on the Biden administration right fucking now. Okay, the problem is that when OSHA is trying to enact new regulations, sometimes it can take a process of years. Okay, but when we're talking 600 to 2,000 heat-related fatalities annually, these farm workers don't have fucking years waiting for federal bureaucracy to actually step up and do the right thing and protect them. These are the most vulnerable folks out here, literally providing the greatest service to the rest of us by actually picking and producing our food for us. So it is so important, especially in these hot temperatures, to not forget our farm workers, all of our black and brown folks that are out there doing this excruciating work. And it's not just in the West, by the way. I mean, there's farms everywhere. there's farms hands across America. There's farms all over this goddamn country. And it's always usually undocumented and immigrant folks who are being exploited in the worst ways and having their lives put on the line just to bring us food in this heat. But there was another labor story that I wanted to touch on. Basically, capitalism is killing us efficiently, right? Capitalism is a bad bitch out here. Capitalism is like, no, I'm gonna get all you darkies, got it coming. If you don't get it on the job, you're gonna get it from this pandemic. You might get it from the cops. You're gonna get it from this climate change. Capitalism says we coming for you. And tragically, and I apologize because it was not even my intention to be somewhat flippant about this because there's nothing flip about it. I want us to actually, I'm going a tad bit out of order here, Tunde. I want us to go to the Amazon story. Did I put this on here? Yes, I did. Okay, it's going to be A5, but you got that already. So this week, actually, this was last week on Prime Day, July 13th. And this is from New Jersey 1015.com. But an Amazon worker in Carteret, New Jersey died during a busy Prime Day. And we already know, we've talked about it here on the show. We know the conditions in which Amazon workers are exposed to, not only in the warehouses, but the Amazon drivers. Definitely thinking about the drivers, the delivery drivers in all of this heat. But in this warehouse, first of all, Amazon employs 60,000 workers in the state of New Jersey alone, which is remarkable. Just a stunning number, with nearly 20 fulfillment centers and warehouses in the state. And Prime Day, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Amazon say this was the most successful Prime Day, the most profitable Prime Day that the company has seen in its history? Well, I guess you would maximize your profits when you were literally working your laborers to death. And initially in this article, there was not a lot said about what the cause of death for this worker was. But I saw Christian Smalls, who is the president of the Amazon Workers Union. Is he officially president or is he interim president? Chris tweeted, and I don't have it up, but I'm gonna read this to you guys. He tweeted this July 21st, yesterday, 2:20 p.m. Chris tweeted, learned some disturbing details about the worker who passed away. I was told not only did they take nearly an hour to call 911, he was unconscious on the floor for over 20 minutes. He warned management of chest pains and they kept him working in path as a water spider in heated conditions. Now, I don't know what water spider means. And let me go to the chat because you guys may have some more insight into that. But that sounds very on brand for Amazon. Because if you guys recall, Amazon had not one, but two workers die in its Bessemer, Alabama plant. And the other workers were not initially informed that two of their colleagues had died. There was some dispute about how soon the workers who died in Alabama and Bessemer, how soon that they were given medical attention. And this seems to be a very disturbing pattern with Amazon. But it's not a surprising pattern because we know Jeff Bezos is a greedy capitalist piece of shit who is completely content with not only his company boasting obscene profits, but making sure that Amazon workers do not really have a living wage. And not only that, they don't get proper breaks. They can't take breaks. They get docked if they go to the bathroom. They get docked if they don't hit all of their deliveries all 65 of their deliveries in an hour, or if they don't tote 400 boxes in an hour. These are arbitrary numbers. Obviously, I don't know what the numbers are, but I know that they are unreasonable because every Amazon worker has expressed this. And it's part of Amazon's business model, as we kind of talked about this on this show as well, to burn through its labor force. In fact, Amazon itself projects that they are going to burn through their available labor pool by 2024. That's only a couple years away. So Amazon don't have a problem burning out its workers, and clearly doesn't have a problem if people literally die on the job. And this is all why it is so crucially important that all workers organize and unionize and fight for better conditions and better wages. When it comes to wages, you guys know there's no excuse why Amazon can't be paying its workers $30 an hour, $40 an hour, $50 fucking dollars an hour, because they got the bread. The bread is there. It's not a matter of can they, it's will they, and we know they won't. But if the Amazon workers continue to put the press on Jeff Bezos, like the Starbucks workers are putting the press on Howard Schultz, at some point, either they're going to literally hire Pinkertons. Wasn't that the private security? They're going to hire private security to try to force people to work, or they're going to have to capitulate because the power of the people and the will of the people is too strong. And I feel as though finally, I hope that Americans are waking the fuck up. I hope that Americans, even though I know they don't show what happened in Ecuador a couple of weeks ago, and they're not showing the scenes coming out of Panama right now, where everybody's in the streets demanding that their government better come fucking correct. You better get this shit together. Not now, but yesterday. I need Americans to get to that point. And I think in some ways people are starting to get awakened, but in segments. We are not united in this. Like, for example, obviously people who are supporting abortion rights and reproductive justice are up in arms, all right? They outside of Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh's house. Why the fuck wasn't y'all out there for voting rights? You understand? Like all of these things are connected. Worker rights are connected to our civil rights, to our human rights out here. And people are comfortable organizing piecemeal on certain issues that they feel affect them specifically. But the thing is, all of these issues affect all of us, because at the end of the day, this is capitalism trying to exploit us and control our lives, control the absolute destination and destiny for us, because capitalism assumes that our entire lives are meant to serve the masters. And no, kill the masters. That's what Dardaria said. That's what Khaleesi said. Tell him, Latif. Khaleesi's dragon. What was Khaleesi preaching? Kill the masters. Well, then Khaleesi went. Then she went all the way left. But that's another fucking story. But y'all understand what I'm saying. So we want to send our deepest condolences going out to the Amazon worker who died in New Jersey. I hope to God that Jeff Bezos has to pay this person's family an exorbitant amount of money for negligence, for fostering a hostile work environment where workers did not even feel comfortable, or rather had their concerns ignored when this person, according to Christian Smalls, raised that they were experiencing some health problems, said that they were experiencing chest pains, and management forced them to continue. So to me, Amazon is absolutely responsible for this person's death, and I hope that they are made to pay. And I hope that fulfillment center in Cabaret, maybe I'm saying that wrong, but in New Jersey, in that particular, but all of the New Jersey, everywhere, I hope all the Amazon warehouses unionize, because you guys do not deserve this. You do not deserve to be exploited in this way. You deserve to be compensated, and you deserve to be treated like humans, like people do. So anyway, that's my labor segment for today. Thank you all so much for joining us. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up on the channel and like the video and do all the things. Shout out to Quaker Anarchist. Quaker, I got your email. I'm going to respond to you guys. Don't forget, the Camp Dada thing is happening Labor Day up at the Hamptons. Shout out to Josana. Shout out to the Revolutionary Blackout Network. Shout out to the Bank Sisters. Shout out to Sabby Sabs. Everybody who is organizing this very crucial action. I've seen some videos already coming from the Hamptons where some groups have already started to give the rich people some headaches. And I love that. I appreciated that. So please support the Camp Day Day efforts. Quaker, I'm going to reach out to you because I want to have the ladies on it again before the action actually happens so we can talk about it. And I know you guys wanted to do some collaboration while everybody is in the Hamptons. So I'm down for all of that. You know, I'm just bad at email. So don't take my not responses. I'm not down. I am absolutely fucking down. So thank you, Quaker Anarchist, for all your support. Cord, hey, baby girl. Another thing, Northern Witch told me that her daughter-in-law is doing much better. So thank you, Fire Fam, for your loving and support there. And there was somebody else that I needed to shout out because there was something going on, and maybe it'll come back to me in a moment. So just give me some time. let my weed brain catch up with my live broadcast brain. It's a bit on of a delay because my brain is full of resin. But you guys already knew that. Hey, Vesper. Hey, Hollyhorn. What's up? Who else we got in here? Anna is in here. Alicia's in here. I saw Ready Revolutionary in here. I saw 40J Blaze in here. I love it. I love to see my folks in here. So thank you all so much for your support. Okay. Let's go on to the next thing here. Because, you know, I hate COVID. I hate COVID with a passion. I really do. COVID has fucked shit up for the past 3 years. And, you know, one of the worst aspects about COVID is that COVID has totally killed all the wrong people. All the wrong people. COVID has killed workers. COVID has killed elderly people. COVID has killed our healthcare workers. And I don't see how the fuck COVID did not kill Donald Trump, Boris Johnson, Jair Bolsonaro, all these bitch ass niggas. COVID did not kill. Okay. And I feel like COVID is again going to miss the fucking mark on Joseph Robinette Biden. Now, I'm not wishing death on President Biden, but I do not wish him life. I do not wish him peace. I do not wish him well, generally. Joe Biden's a terrible fucking person. Miss me with all that doddering, I'm an old man now, you got to be nice to me. Nigga. I remember when you was popping shit in the late 70s, early 80s about busing. You didn't want niggas to ride the bus with your white kids going to Wilmington public schools in Delaware. You had all the shit to talk about young black children, Gen X kids, specifically in the 90s when you was drafting that bitch ass crime bill that you and Bill Clinton and all the rest of them hoe ass niggas passed. I don't give a fuck about Joe Biden. Joe Biden is I didn't already cussed him out now. I don't see why I'm trying to edit myself at this point. The shit's already out there. So fuck Joe Biden on everything. Me clap in the camera for y'all on everything. On everything. So Joseph Robinette Biden, the COVID done jumped on Biden, right? And this nigga, 79 years old. Why is America electing all these really elderly people? I mean, that's no diss to the elders, by the way. But come on. Come on. Y'all in y'all 70s, you know good and goddamn well that man ain't got no business running the country. Him specifically, not you, not our spry septuagenarians. But Biden is not spry. I would not call him spry. I don't give a shit. He was riding his bike, nigga fell off the bike. Okay, bike was trying to tell him something. So Biden has caught COVID. And even though I do not have the pictures, I don't care. Y'all seen the pictures. The first pictures coming out of the White House yesterday was Joe Biden in his war criminal casual look with no tie, with a couple buttons open on the shirt, in his blazer. Oh, the president is isolated, but he's still working from the White House residence. Meanwhile, someone's in there taking pictures of Biden, and Biden is in there unmasked and COVID positive. And it's a perfect example of how this country is still not taking this virus seriously at all, despite over 1 million dead, despite over 90 million infected. and God knows how many who have been disabled and who are affected right now with long COVID. The president is modeling horrific shit. Wait, someone just ran us some bucks. Thank you. King. Thank you for all you do, King. We certainly appreciate your support. Thank you. I love it when I cuss the president. Somehow, y'all show me where the money resides. y'all open up y'all purses and y'all wallets. Y'all said, keep talking that Biden shit, Kim. Yes. So the fact that the president, the U.S. president, and by the way, he and his staff must have seen all the critical tweets and social media posts about him appearing unmasked after announcing that he was COVID positive, because the pictures that came out today, he had his mask on. Oh, and that's funny how that works. But it just goes to show you that the president from the top down indicates how lack of seriousness that America is taking the ongoing spread of COVID. And I'm gonna give you guys some examples here. So regardless of where you live, I'm pretty sure that your governor is bragging about the giant state budget surplus that is sitting in the state coffers. And I'm making a sweeping generalization here because I know many states are still sitting on them COVID relief funds, right? So let me see some hands in the chat. Or is you ain't even got to tell me what state that you reside, but is your state bragging about how much bonus budget money that they have, right? My guess is going to be yes, okay? And it is really trifling as shit. That's the only way I can describe it. It's trifling as shit that these states are sitting on all this money. And I'm going to tell you why. Because chances are your public school system, regardless of where you live, has not had its HVAC systems updated. Chances are these public schools where your children are going to be attending in the fall have not upgraded their air filters. I'm going to guess that they have in fact done very little, if anything at all, to update these school buildings to prepare for students coming in, for there to be in-person learning, and for the air to be as clean as possible. In fact, America is showing us that they are doing very little to stop the spread of COVID. If you look at our healthcare system, I've seen so many anecdotal tweets of people who are saying that either they've gone to the doctor's office or they've gone to a hospital for some reason, and the front office person is unmasked. Oh, the nurse is unmasked. Oh, the doctor is unmasked. And it's like, we have an understanding, even though new information is constantly being discovered about COVID-19, SARS-CoV-2, but the shit that we do know is that the shit is in the fucking air. It's in the air. Imagine COVID virus in the air like smoke. Okay, you got to think of it that way. That is how that's how heavy COVID is hanging in the air. I'll never forget, one of the first revelations that they told us about COVID is that the virus itself, like saying that, for example, if a COVID positive person sneezes in the air, the fucking virus will hang in the air for like 7 minutes. It's like, what? Excuse me, what? What? So the ways in which this virus, this virus is a content creator, y'all. This virus is creative. This virus be getting funky with the shit. Shout out to Monica. Thank you so much, Monica, for your super chat support. We appreciate that, darling. The notion that Americans should A, expect to get COVID, and B, this preposterous idea of herd immunity is a failing healthcare approach, okay? When we have a not insignificant amount of people who contract COVID are left with some sort of lingering symptom of long COVID, that is extremely serious, and it's going to put increased pressures on our healthcare system and our healthcare workers in the coming years and decades. I don't even want to think about what this shit's going to look like in 5 to 10 years when people who have long COVID are experiencing that shit in the ways, and other people have very smartly put this together on Twitter, but when we're talking about viruses, y'all, long HIV equals AIDS, right? Long hepatitis equals liver failure. Long Guillain-Barré syndrome could result in multiple sclerosis. Like, this is how fucking viruses work, my guys. the virus don't go no fucking where. The virus just post up in your body and chill, nigga, chill. The virus is chilling. But the problem is what COVID does. Well, anyway, COVID does a lot, but COVID sets off some of the other viruses, the dormant viruses that you may have in your body. So anyway, hold on. So people who have had COVID, for example, are reporting that, amongst other things, but some of them are getting shingles, right? Shingles. Isn't that what Justin Bieber had? Yes, Justin Bieber had a symptom of the shingles, where his face froze up on one side. Justin Bieber had COVID more than once. Justin Bieber's wife has suffered from strokes in her mid-20s. Also someone who has experienced COVID more than once. So for Joe Biden to not model the best practices about how to not only keep yourself safe from COVID, but to keep others safe from COVID is just a glaring indication that we are on our own, again, when it comes to this virus. Who just ran us some bucks? What's up? Egg? Egg says, I'm in Chicago, Illinois, and got, in Chicago, Illinois, got $1.3 billion. Wait, you're in Chicago. Illinois got $1.3 billion. Chicago got $450 million, but the cops got $280 million. Egg. And guess what? And Chicago PD still ain't shit. they still ain't stopped niggas from busting down Chatham. They still busting out Inglewood on the south side. What the fuck does the Chicago police do? Not a goddamn thing. I'm sorry. I'm so angry and cursing. Oh, Kofi, thank you so much. Kofi just ran us a super chat and said no message other than I love the show. Kofi, thank you so much for your support. We appreciate that. So guys, these states are sitting on a pile of money, piles of money, and they are not doing much to stop the spread of this virus. I want us, and let's talk about the virus spread, shall we? Do you already have B1 popped up today? Let's take a look at B1 because, the CDC, the CDC is probably going to take decades in order to rebuild its reputation because they have proven themselves to be political hacks in a way, not political hacks, but they will bend their message to the will of politics, by extension, to the will of capitalism. I will never forget, after the airline CEOs testified in front of Congress that their workers, that the 10-day isolation period was too long. And then Anthony Fauci come back and say, we're going to cut that isolation period in half from 10 days down to 5 days. Oh, you guys notice anything about air travel this summer, huh? Thousands of flights canceled, what? Okay. Anyway, so I'm following the people CDC now, nigga. The people CDC is where it's at. Because Anthony Fauci, Rochelle Walensky, Ashish Jha, I can't trust none of them niggas no more. Y'all word is garbage, it's ass. No mas la palabras. I don't believe you. So the people CDC, as you guys can see, indicate that over 90% of the country is rocking with COVID right now. Rocking with COVID. Look at COVID. Rocking out. COVID looked like that climate change map. It's so fucking bad. It's so terrible. I'm sorry. Did I say 90%? Because I literally meant to say over 99% of the U.S. population lives in an area with a substantial or high COVID-19 transmission rate. Oh my God, you really do hate to see it. You really do hate to see it. And here we are in the summer months. School is out, gang, right? People are on vacation. What is this going to look like when y'all kids go back to school? What's it going to look like when you live in a goofy ass state like Virginia and the dumbass Republican governor there, Glenn Youngkin, done said that it's not going to be required for children who are exposed to someone who is COVID positive to isolate or to stay home? Huh? What? Insanity. So also the thing I wanted to point out about Biden, because I saw Chuck Todd goofy ass right before I came on talking about, if the president continues with these mild symptoms, and they said he just has a runny nose and he's doing well, he's taking the Paxlovid, blah, 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 he could be the poster child for how Americans can manage and deal with COVID. Okay. This is the lack of scientific scrutiny. And again, I'm not a scientist, not an epidemiologist, not a virologist, but I have a very basic understanding of how diseases are transmitted, right? And how viruses specifically can and will evolve, which COVID has shown us. We had the original COVID, then we had the Delta. Delta killed tons of people. Then we had Omicron. Listen, the dogs are furious. The dogs are furious. Someone must be walking by unmasked and the dogs are very upset. But then we had Omicron, and now we have all these subvariants of Omicron. And the new, because BA4 and BA5 now account for, I believe, over 75% of COVID infections here in the US. But the BA2.75, is it, y'all? The new jump, the new jump that's already been detected in India and in the UK and in Canada. This is reported to be possibly even more contagious than BA.5, and it is eluding the vaccines. And circling back to Biden, Chuck Todd was talking about how Joe Biden is double vaxxed and double boosted and how he still got COVID. Hello, hello, McFly. Stop putting out that people are vaccinated as if that is the end all be all. I would imagine that Joe Biden probably would have stood a lesser chance of contracting COVID if he didn't wear a fucking mask while he was overseas visiting Israel and Saudi Arabia. He didn't have a mask on, though. I didn't see that nigga masked. Did y'all see Joe Biden masked? Nope. Joe Biden old ass was out there fancy free, willy-nilly, in an advanced risk group because of his age, out there, raw dog in the air, as Jonathan Guerrero would tell us, out there, raw dog in the air, and now his dumbass done caught COVID. And despite him being vaxxed and boosted, COVID still jumped on him. And that's the thing that we need to really remember, y'all, that this virus is still evolving. We're not out of the woods in this. And capitalism is determined to force us back into quote unquote normalcy. But normal is never going to happen if the off chance and not insignificant chance that you develop long COVID. And now you are dealing with something that could potentially disable you or hinder you. Or like guys, the stories I see on Twitter for people who are suffering with long COVID, they're truly horrific. They range from, brain fog to, people complain about sciatica and just these really random ass symptoms. But for those who are experiencing long COVID in a very harsh way, these people say that they wish that COVID would have killed them because the lingering symptoms are just so excruciating. They are not prepared for how to have previously been a healthy person, and are now dealing with something that has basically rendered them disabled. And that's not something small that we need to ignore, because for all the age demographics that have been impacted by this, all of us are susceptible for bad things to happen should long COVID happen to you. And our healthcare system is ill-equipped to deal with this. We have seen nurses and doctors leave the healthcare industry in droves. So who's going to be there to take care of all the long COVID patients, huh? If 2% of people who are infected with COVID contract long COVID, and we've had 90 million infections, I did some quick math. At least I think I did it right. That's 1.8 million. Maybe I have that wrong. Math was not my strong subject. But if we're talking about millions of people potentially dealing with long COVID, our healthcare system is lame-o. And is maybe that's, I apologize, that's an ableist term. I apologize for using that word. But our healthcare system it lacks the goods, lacks lacks. It just lacks. It lacks. Thank you so much, Franny Francais, for your super chat. Franny Francais says, that's for all you do. Franny Francais, you must have got paid this week, girl, because you ran us some money over on BPM too, Franny Francais. I appreciate you, sis. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm worried about COVID, y'all. I continue to be worried about COVID. Incubus concert is next Friday, so there's no show next Friday. But again, I'm going to an outdoor amphitheater. It's Meriwether Amphitheater, Marylanders. Would y'all? Yeah, amphitheater. Let's call it the outdoor amphitheater. It's an outdoor venue by and large. I got pavilion seats because I'm trying to see Incubus. God damn it, I can't be on the lawn. So we got pavilion seats, and I'm like, y'all, am I really gonna rock a N95 mask to an outdoor concert? Like these are really the thoughts that I'm having, because I would be devastated if I have avoided COVID this long. And were to go to an outdoor concert just to fuck around and get BA.5. Like that would be the worst. We have a troll? Like a real one? What's that? Is that a spammy troll? That's how I know we've made it, gang. when the spam comes a calling. Oh, naked HD. Oh shit. Look at us. We coming up in the world. We coming up in the world, Fire Fam. I love to see it. That's why my Mars is out here strong as a motherfucker. Look at Courtney and Latif all over it. All over it. Love to see it. Thank you both. Back to Incubus. What do y'all think? Do y'all think I should wear a mask to this concert? Remember when I went to go see Genesis at the Verizon Center or Capital One Arena, and how furious I was because the Capital One Arena had lied to me and said that it was a vaccine mandated, all this shit. Nigga, didn't nobody check no vaccine cards. Half the motherfuckers was in there not wearing masks. And I was like, what in the hell? What in the hell? Well, why am I at the super spreader event? Who said this was okay? So would y'all wear a mask? Okay, Wendy said yes. All the people saying, yes, mask up. Alice says, yes, mask up. Okay, got it. I like masks too, Super Patriot. Super Patriot, I've seen you in this chat. You have not said anything that I take umbrage with, but it's your name. it's the Super Patriot name that I'm like always kind of, have to double check. Like, the fuck? So, okay, masks. Okay, yeah, so mask. So, okay, here's the other part about the mask. So I have heard, and less so in this area, in the DMV area, because people are still wearing masks. I won't say it's at the same levels that obviously it was at the height, but compared to what people from other areas of the country describe to me as particularly Midwest and down South and California, that nobody is really masking. People are masking around here. To what extent, I can't say, but when I go out, I definitely see people in masks. But the stories that I'm reading online from people who maybe live in regions where everybody's not masking, and the people who do go out in mask get shit talked to them. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you something. The first motherfucker who says something slick to me about wearing a mask is getting cussed. Minimum cussed. Because Incubus, I love them to death. They are 3/5 non-white, but their audience is 4/5 absolutely white. Okay. and I've been to see Incubus 8-9 times. I only had somebody kind of say something slick to me maybe once, but that bitch was hating. She was hating because I go to the Incubus show to party. I don't know what the rest of the motherfuckers go to do. The fuck y'all came here to sit here and stand around and watch the band. Like, the band is killing it right now. How are you not dancing and headbanging? Makes no sense to me why people go to shows and don't dance, but I digress. But anyway, but because I do not trust white people, I do not trust white people to mind their business. I am halfway anticipating that somebody's going to say something to me about wearing a mask, and I'm going to have something very unpleasant to say to them back. So I apologize to our white comrades for generalizing your people, but y'all know y'all people. I don't even got to tell y'all that shit. But anyway, So the Fire Fam is in agreement. Mask up at the Incubus concert. Said and done. Really quick, let's go to B2 real quick, Tunde, because y'all need to know this as well. The monkeypox. We represent the Monkeypox Guild, the Monkeypox Guild, the Monkeypox Guild, and in the name of the Monkeypox Guild, we'd like to welcome you to Crazy Land, specifically Washington, D.C. As you see here, D.C. has the highest number of monkeypox cases per capita in the U.S. Way to go, Washington. That's how you do it, baby. Swing for the fences, D.C. I love to see it. D.C. is reporting the most monkeypox cases per capita in the U.S. as officials undertake another vaccination campaign constrained by federal supply woes and sluggish testing. Now, the testing part is kind of interesting to me as well. So as of Monday, DC reported 122 cases, the most cases per resident of any state in the U.S., and has identified more than 530 close contacts of those cases since the first case was detected back in the city in early June. Here we are approaching late July. Of these cases, 63% occurred in white residents who identified as male, and 24% in Black residents who identified as males. Residents who identified as gay make up 92% of the city's current cases, and the majority of men are in the 30 to 34-year-old age range, according to DC Health. So DC has been pretty consistent with setting up these monkeypox vaccination clinics. But one thing that, again, the messaging surrounding this latest monkeypox outbreak in the U.S. is really bothering me because it seems to be laden with homophobia, right? And while DC Health and the DC leadership, political leadership, Mayor Muriel Bowser, has made it a point to say that, you know, the LGBTQ populations are being prioritized for these vaccinations and that they are the critical group. But it's not a gay disease. Like, anybody can contract monkeypox. It is a skin to skin, and even some cases through respiratory droplets, monkeypox can be transmitted. I even think there is a tiny aerosol component to monkeypox. Like, monkeypox clearly does not hang in the air as long as COVID, and it's not as contagious nor as communicable as COVID, but you know, you don't want fucking monkeypox. That shit doesn't sound fun. That shit doesn't sound fun at all. And let me give out, let me read this other part from the DCS here. Again, this is the piece I'm reading from. Quote, it is extremely important to note that while the majority of the cases during this outbreak are occurring in individuals who identify as members of the LGBTQ plus community, this is not a disease, here we go, of the LGBT plus community. Anyone can contract monkeypox. Thank you. Yes. Who said that? LaQuanda? Yes. Said outgoing DC Health Director LaQuandra Nesbitt. Y'all should see LaQuandra's hair. It is so cute. She got it blonde. Anyway, but she looks gorgeous. LaQuandra Nesbitt. I love the fact that DC also has a public health official with the first name of LaQuandra, just to let y'all know what DC is rolling at right here. I love the shit out of that. And I hate to see her go, actually. I thought she actually did a pretty decent job during the pandemic. But I appreciated that she said that. But Mayor Bowser was taking sort of a different tone that I did not really appreciate. But the problem is that a lot of people are going to hear this and think, oh, it's gay disease. I ain't got to worry. And people are going to keep their guards down. They are not going to be as vigilant, I guess, about washing their hands and, you know, thinking that perhaps if they don't engage in gay sex, then they are not at risk. And it's skin to skin. What was I telling y'all? I've been telling y'all, stop dapping up people, man. Stop shaking people's hands. Stop kissing people that you don't know. And I mean that Euro kiss. You know what I mean? The kiss. Don't do that shit. We are in pandemic out here. This shit is serious. And apparently, the U.S. government has not a very good plan for addressing the monkeypox outbreak. The last time there was a monkeypox outbreak, the cases were significantly fewer globally, and specifically significantly fewer here in the US. So we already have exceeded our monkeypox outbreak from the last time there was a monkeypox outbreak. And this is very troubling to me because of the very piss poor way that America has handled COVID. Why in the hell will we think that America is going to handle monkeypox any better? And I even heard, and I'm sure you all heard this as well, that there was a reported case of polio in Rockland County, New York. The person is currently not contagious for polio now, but polio, the fuck, polio, nigga. You want polio to make a comeback in the middle of a COVID pandemic, in the middle of a monkeypox outbreak? Public health in this country is fucked. It is fucked. And the best that we can do is to do what we can for ourselves. So please take as much awareness about how monkeypox is transmitted. Don't stigmatize it as a gay disease, because it isn't. Anybody can get monkeypox. And you please have to try to just do your best to try to protect yourself out here. Please don't think that we are out here safe, and we're not. Let me move along to my last segment. Maybe I have COVID. You see my nose is running. But I don't, anyway, how the fuck did I don't think I have COVID. I don't know. Who in the hell knows? Who knows? Who knows? The fact that my nose is running gives me pause. And I have no other symptoms. But anyway, I'm tired, guys. I'm tired. Can you please send the aliens my way and ask them to come pick me up? I'll be outside with my flashlight. I'm counting UFOs. I signal them with my lighter. And in this moment, I am happy, happy. I'm going to be singing my face off at Incubus. Y'all, please believe it. Do us a favor, guys. Hit us a thumbs up on the chatteroo. Not on the chat, on the video. Thank you so much, Latif. You're so kind. Latif, you work here. You do not need to send us no more money, Latif. You work here. But thank you, though, sweetie. You know I appreciate it. Give us a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel. We are just a little over 100 subscribers away from 3,000. Now, I know that's tiny in these YouTube streets, but I'm appreciative of everybody who watches this program. So help us get to 3,000 subscribers soon. And last but not least, guys, the cops ain't shit. And if we were to do a Los Angeles Police Department episode of the cops ain't shit, it would probably be at least 27 hours long, at least, because LAPD has a long documented history of not being shit for quite some time. Not just LAPD, the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department as well. Shout out to Cerise Castle. And please go to knock-la.com and read Cerise Castle's multi-episode investigative pieces about the history of gangs. Google LASD gangs. But let's talk about the LAPD gang. So we are going to pop up C1 there, Tunde. So on Monday, Los Angeles Police Department, and let me give you guys the trigger warning is for police violence. The good news here, as I mentioned earlier, is that the man did not die. The man is alive. From the LA Times, man shot by LAPD was holding an auto part, not a gun, police say, as neighbors demand answers. So listen to this. Days after Los Angeles police shot a 39-year-old man in Leimert Park, neighbors and others demanded answers about why officers opened fire in a residential neighborhood on someone who officials now say was unarmed. Underscore now say. Authorities have so far released few details about the shooting that happened Monday evening of Jermaine Petit. I'm not sure if his name is Petit or Pettit. P-E-T-I-T. Pettit. Let's call him Mr. Pettit. The Monday evening shooting of Jermaine Pettit in the area of Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard and South Bronson Avenue. As a news conference that night, the night of the incident, an LAPD spokesperson said that the man was carrying a, quote, weapon when police came across him walking on King, but offered no further clarification. The department later retracted that statement in a news release, saying that a, quote, black metal latch actuator was retrieved from the scene. Gang, what's a black metal latch actuator? We'll get back to that. Mr. Pettit, who was taken to the hospital in serious condition, is expected to survive, police said, but it was the LAPD's 20th shooting of the year. It was the LAPD's 20th shooting of the year, a quarter of which have occurred in this month of July. Isn't that amazing? I want us to take a look at some of the coverage. Now, I want us to take a look at what the news, mainstream media, the way that they covered it. And I want us to take a look at the way that an independent journalist cover it. Let's take a look. This is going to be C2, my apologies, C2. And this is from NBC4 LA. And this reporter is on the scene the night of the shooting. And I just want you guys, again, to continually note the propaganda. Note the framing, note the police say, the authorities say, officials say, note all of that shit. Let's take a look at this piece from NBC4 Los Angeles about the shooting of Jermaine Pettit, who thankfully survived. So, gang, we're having a tiny technical issue, so we're trying to get the audio up to speed. But Leimert Park, I don't know LA all that well, and I don't know if that's a black area or not. It appeared to be a black area from some of the subsequent video that we're going to check out. The person that you're seeing speaking on screen right now is the Los Angeles Police Department spokesperson. You know what? Can I tell y'all? It really grinds my gears to either see black or non-white chiefs of police and or non-white police spokespersons. Because it's like, my brother, the fuck are you doing, man? What are you doing? Why are you out here as a mouthpiece for the police state? Why are you out here as an agent of oppression of other communities of color and black folks? And the Asian man know better. He know that the police be in the Asian neighborhoods fucking up the Asian people too. Come on now. I need him to do a little better than that. So do we have anything available to us? Are you not sure? Okay. Well, give us a moment. So the long story short is, of this piece that NBC Los Angeles did, again, the reporter was there on the scene in the neighborhood the night of. They acknowledged that there was unhappiness, let's say that, from the neighborhood, because there's a couple of things here about Jermaine Pettit that you should know. According to his neighbors, Jermaine Pettit is mentally challenged to the extent that one of the neighbors in a video said that you would just see him walking up and down the street, talking to himself, right? They never said that he was violent, said that he never displayed any sort of untoward behavior towards any of the neighbors, that he was generally a man that everybody knew that he had some mental challenges and was just part of the community, minding his fucking business, right? So apparently the ways that LAPD even engaged with him is that they just started to follow him in their vehicles, according to eyewitnesses. He was walking down the street with something in his hand, and we do know what the thing in his hand was. It turned out to be an auto part, but police assume that Black people carrying anything in their hands, you know, cell phones, purses, wallets, you know, completely innocuous and not dangerous items. They just assume all Black people are carrying guns out in the wild, just toting them down the street. So police attempted to engage him. He ran. He said, according to witnesses, he said, "I don't have anything," and took off running. And the police shot him 3 times in the back. It is a miracle that Jermaine Pettit is alive. Okay, I'm so grateful that this man's name did not turn into a hashtag, that the pigs did not take a Black person's life in Leimert Park that day, but they shot him 3 times in the back. And the community is outraged. Okay, we're going to try this again, guys. Again, this package that we're going to see from the night of the incident, which happened Monday, from NBC4 Los Angeles. And again, please note the propagandist language. Let's take a listen.
So we'll take you back earlier this evening. The LAPD said they responded here to reports of a man with a handgun. But those in the neighborhood, witnesses who are reluctant to go on camera, say that that man was not armed with a handgun. Now, just a few minutes ago, we got an update, and it didn't seem to clear anything up.
You know, at around 7:20 this afternoon, Southwest Division patrol officers responded to several 911 calls of an assault with a deadly weapon suspect. They're now in the area of Martin Luther King and Bronson Avenue. When the officers arrived, they made contact with the suspect, and an officer-involved shooting occurred.
You said the suspect's weapon was collected at the scene. What was the weapon?
You know, we're just only describing it as a weapon at this time as the investigation goes on.
You say there's a weapon at the scene. What is the weapon? You know what it is.
You want to answer?
I haven't had a chance to look at the weapon.
Well, you can go find out right now.
And Carolyn and Chuck, it got much louder and much angrier from there. People right now want to know exactly why that man was shot. They say more than once. As for the condition of that man, said right now to be a suspect armed with a deadly weapon. He is in the hospital in serious condition. As for this area right here in Leimert Park, MLK and Deegan, police tell us this is going to be closed for several hours.
So the voice that you heard when the LAPD spokesperson was addressing the media was that of an independent journalist. And I don't know Bruv's actual name, but his Twitter handle is at Film the Police LA. And Film the Police LA has been on the scene at a lot of Los Angeles-based actions. He's out there with Vishal Singh and Cerise. Like, I love the fact, I love this contingent of independent Los Angeles journalists because they are about the shit. They are about the shit. Real quick, send us some solidarity out to my guy, Richie Sergenko. I think the cops got Richie. I think Richie was locked up for a couple hours, and I hope Richie's out now. So shout out to People City Council and the comrade Richie Sergenko, who got pinned up by the cops. And hopefully we can have Richie on to talk about what happened to Richie. But getting back to this situation with Jermaine Pettit, Black man shot in the back 3 times by Los Angeles Police Department. And as you heard them say, that he, quote unquote, had a deadly weapon in his possession. And listen to the way that the Los Angeles Police Chief Moore describes the item that Jermaine had in his hands. Let's take a listen to C3, please.
Officers made contact with Mr. Petit, who was in possession of a black metal latch actuator. Mr. Petit refused to respond to the officer's verbal commands, and a uniformed supervisor arrived at scene, and upon his arrival, an officer-involved shooting occurred. Mr. Petit was struck by gunfire and fell onto the pavement.
The police chief gave the fact, and he said petite, so maybe I'll go with that pronunciation because I don't know if it's petite or pettit, but let's say petite. Mr. Petite, as you heard the police chief say, refused to comply with commands. Okay, but Mr. Petite is mentally challenged, okay? So this is the ways in which disabled people, and especially disabled people, period, point blank. Let me just put a pin in that because it can affect people who are mentally challenged, people who are hard of hearing. There's a variety of reasons why a person may not comply with officers' commands. They may not hear them. They may not understand them. They themselves may be nonverbal and may not be able to respond, or may not even have the full comprehension, or maybe they didn't fucking want to, right? And they ran away. As Super Patriot said in the chat, running is not illegal. Okay. And there's no excuse for police to shoot people who are running away from them, who are trying to get away. I thought the reason for officers using deadly force was that they feared for their life. How the fuck are you afraid of your life of someone who was running away, trying to hop a fence to get the fuck away from you when they didn't do anything wrong? And what is a black metal latch actuator? I don't know what it is, but I tell you what the fuck it ain't. It ain't a gun. It ain't a weapon. It ain't deadly. It ain't a reason to shoot a mentally challenged, disabled person in the back as they're trying to flee. Last clip I want us to take a listen to is from one of the neighbors in the area in Lamert Park who talk about this man, who talk about Jermaine, who say, I'm going to let the sister say, and again, this clip is from Film the Police LA, and shout out to the independent journalists hard at work getting the real story out there. Let's take a listen.
Therefore, for this man to have to not have a weapon or anything to cause this is fucked up. Why did this man have to get fucking shot in his back?
You ever see him do anything violent?
He don't do nothing violent. He don't even scream. He don't do nothing to scare anybody. So for me to hear this story is really crazy. He is not a violent person. I just know he walked down the street and he talked to himself. He's one of those you know what I'm saying?
As somebody who if the police come and give orders, he might not realize what they're saying, right?
No, right.
And
he wouldn't know.
And so they're gonna take that as
but he wasn't violent. Yeah. He's not gonna attack you. He's not gonna do nothing. If anything, he's probably gonna be more scared because of his mind frame.
Like he might just run. If they come, they might run.
Yeah.
Right.
Run. That's exactly what he did. He ran. He ran, and for his running, for not doing anything wrong. And still the police, they said that they got a report of someone being attacked with a deadly weapon. Well, when they engaged him and they saw him walking down the street, clearly he was not in the act of attacking anybody, right? He just happened to be black and happened to have something in his hand, which again, apparently that's only illegal for black people to do. You just can't have shit in your hands now walking down the street all in public. Meg said, fuck the police. Thank you so much for your super chat support, Meg. We really appreciate that. So activists are determined that there will be some accountability for this, because how many more of our people who are disabled or mentally challenged or experiencing a mental health crisis, like how many people, how many more are they going to gun down? Like, is this just target practice? Is it just okay to shoot down black folks who are experiencing or who happen to not be adhering to whatever we think normal behavior is? And again, I still don't even know what the man did besides be black in a black neighborhood with something in his hand. Like what even perpetuated this level of engagement? And why is it the police think that they have a right to stop and engage any and everybody? And how are they out here with such horrific training of how to not deal with members of the population who may not have the same level of cognitive function, or who may not be able to communicate with them otherwise? Like, I've told y'all this and I still stand by this. Like, I agree that stigmas surrounding mental health challenges need to go away, because people should be able to talk about what they're experiencing, what they're feeling, shit that they're dealing with without consequence of judgment or any sort of reprisals. But the problem is, let your black ass have a bad fucking day. Let your black ass who is suffering from depression, anxiety, potentially bipolar, schizophrenia, let you have a bad fucking day, man. Let you have a bad fucking day and you be out somewhere for reasons, maybe getting loud. Oh Lord, there's a Negro getting loud. Police is called, right? And as soon as police shoot your ass down, the first thing they're going to do is run down all your mental health stuff and use that as a justification as to why they had to shoot you. Oh, Well, you know she was schizophrenic. You know she was taking antipsychotics. You know. That's the part about the mental health conversation that I really don't like, because it's supposed to be empowering people, but it still stigmatizes. And if you are acting out, if your black ass is acting out, they will use that as a reason to why they killed you. Like, that's the reason. Oh, she was having a mental health crisis. Oh, well, there you go. Nothing to see here, Johnson. Sprinkle some crack. It's over. I hope there's reprisals. I hope there's accountability. I hope these LA cops lose their jobs. I hope that they never get to be cops ever again. But we know how strong the LA police union is. We know the fact that black and something in your hands and male is reason for police to fear for their lives. Even if that black body is running away from them, they will still say they were in fear for their lives because that person had something in their hand. In this case, a black metal latch actuator. Outrageous. We want to send love going out to Jermaine Petite. Jermaine, we hope you heal. We hope your pockets get fat off of Ben Crump or somebody coming out on your behalf to sue the shit out of LAPD, because you did not deserve that level of violence. You did not deserve that level of inhumane treatment and inconsideration about how to deal with you and to deal with other people who are mentally challenged and or experiencing mental health crisis in a way that keeps everybody safe. Well, I don't give a fuck about the police being safe, in a way that keeps the public fucking safe, okay? So thank you, God, that this man is still alive, and we wish him speedy recovery and 100% healing energies. Guys, that's going to be the show for tonight. I feel as though I owe y'all something, but I don't really know what that is right now. So we will have a show Tuesday. Are we having a show Tuesday, to your knowledge? Okay, show on Tuesday. We will have a show on Tuesday. I might do, so y'all know next Thursday is my birthday, right? So next Thursday is my birthday. Friday, I'm going to Incubus to hopefully not catch COVID. But Thursday, we might do an AMA thing, but we might do an AMA for everybody. I'm sorry, patrons, I got to share. Y'all gonna have to share me. You're gonna have to share me with the rest of the Fire fam on my birthday. So Thursday, watch the community page, watch the community post. We might do a very special birthday AMA for all the people them. So that should be pretty cute and pretty fun. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Imani, thank you so much for being here. Fani Francais, per usual. Tasha, my baby girl. Spin Cycle Dragon come through. I love y'all. Piolin's Ghost, I love you as well. Ursula, baby, thank you so much for your donation to the abortion fund, to the Kentucky Health Justice Network. I appreciate that, Ursula. Everybody else, I love y'all to pieces. Thank you, Alice. Thank you, Vaspar. Meet me on Instagram for the post show, whatever the fuck I do on Instagram after this, at Kim Brown Live. You guys, don't forget, COVID and monkeypox is definitely out here jumping on people. Please mask up, wash your hands, social distance, do what you got to do. On behalf of Tunde and Molly, we really love y'all and appreciate you guys so much. So we'll see you back here on Tuesday. See y'all later. Bye-bye. Have a great weekend, Fire fan. Be safe.